So I was looking up a bunch of different ways that you can play poker online, and there are so many different ways that you can play, right? And we're gonna play a couple uh, of those right now. I'm gonna try to see if I can use my skills as a magician, a card handler, to try to give myself a little bit of an edge. But we're gonna do certain things to make it a little bit harder for myself. So we're going to take this pack of cards, and we're just going to use the first 10 cards for this first few hands, just so you know I'm not like palming things off or, stealing cards or anything like that. So we've got 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. And I'm just going to give those to the spectator, and I'm going to ask them to go ahead and deal out our poker hands. And so they would deal me the first card, and then they'd get the next, and then I would stop them and tell them go ahead and mix the cards, because this isn't something you would normally do in a poker game, but just to make it harder for me as the magician, we're gonna mix them up in between the hand, and then they can continue the deal. And let's say they mix them up again, and then they continue the deal. We'll mix these up. And go ahead and continue, mix these last two up, and finish the deal. And we'll go ahead and turn over and see what we have. Looks like I've got a pair of fives and a pair of jacks, which is going to be your pair of tens. Okay. But we'll give you another shot. From this point, I'm going to just give the whole pack to you and tell the spectator go ahead and mix them up again. And they'll do that. And we're going to make it even more in the spectator's control. So basically, when you deal these cards out, you can deal yourself 2 cards and give me 1, and then deal yourself 1 card and give me 3, or you can deal them off the bottom if you want. You can mix them while in between each card that you deal. It's really up to you. You're in total control. The only rule is that that each player has 5 cards, right? And so they'll do that, say they want to keep mixing them up. Oops. And they will go ahead and deal me 1 card, or actually maybe we'll give me 2 cards and deal themselves 1. And then we'll give them 2 cards and give me 2 cards. And then we'll deal again. And they'll give themselves 2 cards and I get the last one. And keep in mind, this is the spectator's choice. They do this however they want. And basically, we're just going to turn over our cards and show that you gave me a full house while you had 3 of a kind. So you had a good hand, but it wasn't good enough. So basically, though, from here, we're just going to put the cards back together, and we're going to just try it one more time. Just go ahead and deal the cards out. And so the spectator will just go ahead and start dealing them out, just to see what would happen. And unfortunately, you're not going to be able to beat my 3 fives with your 2 pair. Now, this hasn't been very fair to the spectator as of this point, right? So we're going to actually do something a little bit different. I'm going to try to help the spectator stack the cards for themselves, right? And so basically what we're going to do, we're going to play a version of stud poker, which is where some of the cards are face up whenever you deal them out, right? And the version we are going to do is where you're actually going to take half the packet and flip it face up and shuffle it into the rest of the cards. So about half and half are going to be face up and face down as you deal them out, right? But a couple things before we do this. The spectator is going to choose how many hands we're going to deal out real quick. And let's say we'll roll this dice here to see. I guess if we get a low number, we'll roll it again because we want more than like 3 hands. But perfect, 6. Just to show you it's not loaded, it is different dice every time. But it gave us 6, so we'll do 6 hands. And one more thing, I'm going to need the spectator to take a card and basically put it up their sleeve, right? So in other words, we're going to have a card and we're going to hide it for later on in the game. And they're just going to go ahead and we'll pick any random one, just say stop whenever. And let's say they choose this one. We'll put that there. That's going to be their sleeve card, so we're not even going to look at it yet. But we'll pretend that, actually we'll put this on top of it so we know nobody's going to touch it. But that's going to be our sleeve card. That's hidden away from everybody. Nobody in the game knows about this. And then from here, I'm going to actually have the spectator cut off about half the cards here and flip them over, right? And then they're going to go ahead and shuffle these together. This is not the magician doing this. This is the spectator. And so they go ahead and, if I can give them a good shuffle, they'll go ahead and give the cards a shuffle. And this is really a spectator shuffle. And so they'll go ahead and square the cards up. And now from here, we're going to deal out our six-handed game of poker. The only thing is, when the spectator gets to their card, they're going to deal off the bottom of the pack. So somebody who's really skilled is going to be able to do this flawlessly, and you won't be able to see it. But for demonstration purposes, it's okay that we're going to be able to see what's going on. So we're going to deal out our six-handed game. The first card for the spectator comes off the bottom. We're going to go ahead and continue dealing. The next card is going to come off the bottom. We're going to go ahead and continue dealing. The next card is going to come off the bottom. And we'll go ahead and continue dealing. And the last card comes off the bottom. And keep in mind, this is a spectator shuffled pack of cards. So let's just go ahead and see what the spectator ended up with. You had a 9, a king, a queen, and a jack of spades. So now we're just counting on, or actually, let's go ahead and finish dealing out the rest of their hands before we see what your whole card was. See what everybody else got. But it looks like you need the 10 of spades. So let's see. Did the card that you chose earlier to hide in your sleeve match your straight flush? Yes, it did. And so that's a way that you can win at poker, I guess. Well, there you go.